Hello and welcome back. As you can see, these are the mod rewards for the Operation Ambulas Reborn, and hopefully what I'm going to do is give you a possibly different views on them, maybe something someone hasn't thought of, what I think of them really in general, what ones I think could be worthwhile, etc, etc. Hopefully not going to go into too much detail, purely because, well, it's just my opinion, so the best way to actually find out whether they're actually worth anything is for you guys to actually test them. If you like what they do, then you use them. If you don't like what they do, then don't use them. But it's probably the easiest and best way to actually do anything in Warframe, just you figure it out for yourself. Obviously, yes, look at videos, other people's builds, etc., etc., to find, I don't know, helpful hints, little perks, etc., etc. But overall, it's your collection, it's your game. Play it how you want. Now, the first augment is the one that I bought first, honestly. It's Avenging Truth, and the reason is because it's for Silver and Aegis. Now, Silver and Aegis is a sword and shield weapon that uses Final Harbinger, if you ask me, any day of the week, and forever will be. Final Harbinger is the best stance in the game. It looks cool, it feels cool, it wrecks. I just find it absolutely amazing. Anyway, Avenging Truth. In a whole, what it really does is it just absorbs 25% of the damage you take and it stores it up into a little counter. And the next time you do a charge attack, it releases that extra damage into that charge attack onto the enemy, and it can frigging hurt. It also has Truth. Now, Truth is the fart, we'll just call them farts for now, from Arbiters of Hexis. It deals 1000 gas damage and applying the gas status effect to enemies within range of it. It also restores 25% of the player's maximum health and boosts all 3 parkour maneuvers by 25% for 30 seconds. To be honest, the only thing you'll really care for that is health. In a nutshell, it is a very good augment. The only problem is doing a charge attack with Final Harbinger can be a bit odd and annoying. However, having a sword and shield weapon that has a syndicate fart is very, very useful. Now, Entropy Detonation. I'm pretty sure this is one everyone got the moment they saw Prisma Obex from Barrow. Now, Prisma Obex was a pretty damn good weapon, and this weapon helped hit it through just that little bit further. Lethal ground attacks cause enemies to explode, dealing 1000 damage plus 20% of the maximum health from the enemy as blast damage in a 10-meter radius. That is actually frigging awesome. Annoyingly, I kind of want to say it's a little bit of a cop-out. Vulcan Blitz for your good old Jack Katag. However, what this has over it is the +1 entropy. Entropy is simply the proc from Cephalon Suda. It's a magnetic proc, again 1000 damage, or all 1000 damage. Status effect, yada yada. It also restores 25% of the player's base energy, and it will also increase your maximum energy pool by 25% for 30 seconds. Now, although this is a frigging good augment, the downside to it is it completely falls off at higher levels. Like, seriously, at the higher the level it gets, the less that will do. So you could argue it's completely pointless at higher levels. So if you are one of those people that like to sit in survivals for a long time, there's no point taking this, because the actual effect of the augment will not take place at all, because doing a finisher on the ground or ground damage, etc., etc., and even if it does go off, it won't do any damage to anything around. So that lower-ish levels, sortie and below, you'll probably be fine. Stock Pileflight. Now, this one's actually kind of annoyed me. It's for the kunai, which has a 10% magazine, and all stockpiled Blight does is increase it by 200%. You now have a 30-round magazine for what is effectively a really bad weapon. It doesn't have a critical chance, it doesn't really have a status chance, it's just a raw damage kunai with a fast-ish fire rate and a decent reload speed. You'd still be much better off with Hiku Prime or Spira Prime, etc, etc. This doesn't really do much for me. The only thing that this will actually do for me is it gives off my favourite Syndicate proc. Red Veil's Syndicate proc Blight gives the status effect of viral, that's 1000 viral damage, as well as the status effect. It also restores 25% of the player's energy base, and it increases your movement speed by 10% for 30 seconds. That's the best thing about it, and that shouldn't be the best thing about it. It's honestly, I can't find a use for this. I've got it, but I won't even bother to actually rebuild Kunai to use it. Disarming Purity. Speaking of pointless augments, this is for the Panthera, and what it does, it has a 40% chance to disarm enemies, only when using the secondary fire. Now the secondary fire has a 5-meter range. You disarm an enemy and it drops its big boomstick and it goes for the stabby stabby. It's in 5-meter range, so it's just going to walk forward and stab you. This is literally pointless. They're in pretty much in melee range anyway, and you're going to force them to be in melee range. This, honestly, I can't even figure this out, to be honest. It's completely frigging pointless, if you ask me. I mean, I'm not even going to be bothered using it. The best thing about it is the new Loka proc. It deals 1000 corrosive, it gives the corrosive status effect, which is frigging awesome. It restores 25% of the player's max health and provides a max health boost by 25%. That is the best thing about it again, which should not be there. So you're going to take the Bombard, who's got a massive range, admittedly, yes. You're going to get to within 5 meters of him and then tell him, with hopefully a 40% chance, to put his weapon down and to stab you in the face instead. Genius, that. I can see that working real well. Neutralising Justice. Now, the first complaint I have about this is they spelt neutralising wrong. It's an S, not a Z. Jesus Christ, learned English. I'm aware you're a Canadian / American, which is the same frigging language for you people. But seriously, you can just speak English, do it properly. Right, next point is a 90% chance to destroy nullifier bubbles. Nullifier bubbles. This is amazing. And it's per blade, which is the part I find interesting. So by putting split chamber on, if at any point you fire the actual 2 blades, effectively you got a 180% chance. So just in case the first blade don't cut it, or pop it, if you've got a river mod for even more multi-shot, put heavy caliber on and just spread them out. Wipe out entire fields of nullifiers as you go. That would be amazing. And then, as always, the proc of it itself is from Steel Meridian. It's a blast proc, staggers enemies, and it restores 25% of the player's max health, and it also boosts your base armor by 25% for 50 seconds. This one, I would say, is a very, very much so a must-have, especially if you're a bit of a mag head. I mean, I've recently got Mitre again for the purpose of this with mag, and I will admit it does make mag's life a little bit more useful and easier. Now on to something completely laughable. Voltage Sequence. Killing a flying enemy creates a lightning trap from their remains, lasting 8 seconds, and it's for the Lanka. Okay, so you have to basically, what that's asking you to do, in a nutshell, in case you haven't actually thought of this, I mean, if you ever played a Corpus Sortie, you'll understand why this is bloody stupid immediately. You have to stand, essentially, still to take a shot with a sniper rifle, or hide, or be invisible, etc, etc. But if you're not invisible, that means you're going to get hit by probably, I don't know, a level 100 attack drone, sapping osprey, Oxygen Ospreys, etc., etc., etc. And then you've got to kill it, and then it's going to release an arc trap essentially on the ground. And from what I've seen of it, it's a stupidly small radius. It does sod electrical damage, but it seems to have a pretty decent chance to stun an enemy. But wow, you're dead probably by this point. So unless you're playing on Venus, this is pointless. Honestly, this is actually laughable. Anyway, sequence itself, if you like using it, admittedly, it does actually do something quite useful, particularly if you are, and again, a mag player and you like using the Lanka. This could be useful for you. It deals 1,000 radiation along with the effect, etc., etc., from the parent sequence augment. It restores 25% of the player's base shields, as well as it provides a base shield boost for 50% of your shield for 30 seconds. But honestly, it's not worth it. I've got it for the sake of saying I've got it. Fulmination. Honestly, this could be a lot of use to a lot of people. For me personally, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be others that agree with me, not much point to it. There's no point in having it in a build. Yada yada. Reasons, reasons, reasons. To a lot of people, this will be great. To a lot of people, this will be bad. For me, I'm on the fence with it because the weapons that this can be used on are Angstrom, Castanas, Colstar, Pox, Stug, and Talons. Now, a lot of them can kill you through self-damage, and adding this to it is just going to make the radius and the chances of you killing yourself through self-damage roughly, I don't know, 24% higher. However, on Pox with a Sarin, and in case you don't know, I love Sarin and Pox combo, this could be bloody useful. The only problem I then have is going, well, what do I take out? I quite like my Pox build, I find it useful, I find it works. What do I want to sacrifice to put this in? Urgh. However, to a lot of people, there'll be no questions. Whack it in and blow things up even more. Aviator. This is a collector's item. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm throwing it straight out there. This does nothing. This is pointless. This will not help you. The only frame it could possibly help you on would be Titania while she's in her fourth ability. But it doesn't work. Some might then go, oh, but Zephyr, she's airborne a lot. Turbulence. Other than that, there is 0 point putting that on a frame when there's a multitude of other things that will do better. This is a collector's item. That's the only reason I've got it, because I'm trying to collect all of the mods, because that's going to be my latest venture. Other than that, there is 0 point having that mod. Honestly. Sacrifice. Oh dear God, DE, what have you done? Whoever came up with this idea, I'm sorry to say, actually should get fired. Seriously. Sentinel takes 4 seconds to revive its downed owner. That's great, DE, because in the majority of missions where you might go, this actually could be useful, will probably one-shot your Sentinel afterwards, so your Sentinel will never actually revive the owner or the Warframe, or you, essentially. I've actually tested this out several friggin' times. Not once did my Sentinel revive me, because the moment I went down, the enemies switched all of their attention to my friggin' Sentinel, and then it died. Didn't get revived. Not once. It's useless. Why this even exists is an absolute embarrassment. Anyway, that's me moaning. That's me pandering on. There are a few good mods there. There's a lot of questionable ones, and there are definitely some laughable ones. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da!